Hi, this is Jonathan Tiersten from the Perfect House and Sleepaway Camp, and you are listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.
Hey, Real Nerds listeners, your favorite host Ryan here to remind you that social media is great. How great is it? There's many ways you can find the Real Nerds on social media. You can download us on iTunes. You can listen to us streaming on Stitcher Radio. You can call us 720-6nerds5. Aw man, our website is so cool. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You want to leave some fan mail? Oh, that's so easy, realnerds@gmail.com. Twitter? We got it, @real_nerds. You can even like us on Facebook. Thank you so much, and hey, enjoy the show. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van. But by the time you hear this, it's too late.
Yeah, it's already over, guys.
It's already over. Man,
it was awesome.
It was a great time.
Actually,
It was a great time.
It was. It's an experience you'll never experience ever.
Oh,
like you missed it. It's
well, at Comic-Con this year, we should have it playing behind us, right?
Are we doing a Real Nerds panel? Because I just submitted Van Damme to screen as its
No,
own
I
thing.
mean-
we can do that too.
No, I mean, like, at our booth, we can have it behind us.
We can do that.
Oh, if you want. Are we getting a booth?
I mean, I don't really want to.
Is D Street Media going to allow us to have a booth?
Oh, snap. The gauntlet has been thrown.
I don't think they're in charge of that.
Who knows?
I don't think they're in charge of the booths. I think they're just in charge
Hey,
of the media.
They're in charge of media passes.
There's genuinely like a threat. I mean, because if you think about it, like, if you were DCC and you were outstripped for space, a day might come when you go like, hey, man, those like 5 or 6 booths that we give away for free to the podcast people, like, maybe we should give those to artists.
Yeah, right. But, dude, they put us in the corner. Like,
No, it's true.
there's no...
We were literally next to the bathroom the first year, which
Yeah.
was pretty dope.
I mean, it's fine.
Hey, I'll go wherever.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, if we get the media pass and we don't get a booth, we can just bring that little handheld
Oh, yeah, no,
recorder.
we'll be fine.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. I'm not genuinely worried. I'm just...
No. Well, you know what's funny,
They
Brad?
can do what they want.
is-
I like the con.
Yeah, me too. When I was reading that letter, I'm pretty sure he sent the same letter last year. I think it's exactly the same
Oh, yeah?
one. Except he changed the links for the
Yeah.
badges.
It'll be good.
Whatever, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And this year I think I'm going to have George's draw me a Mysterio.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yep.
Oh, you just think he's going to do it, huh?
I'll ask him. And wait, I'll say this about George's Jaunty. You should really listen to this interview we did with him last year.
What was that dead air about?
Didn't you already got him to draw you a chameleon, didn't you?
No.
No, I think you did. I mean, it was the chameleon dressed up as Gwen Stacy, but it was still
Yes.
the chameleon, right?
But here's the cool thing about George's is every year I've commissioned him, willing to pay him money, and hey, reasonably, $50 to give him to make a sketch of a head.
They are always
I think it's $125 if you want him to do a whole body,
yeah.
which is ridiculously cheap, especially when you go around and I think Ben Templesmith was like $500,
Well,
which
his are ridiculous.
yeah, I mean,
There's,
I'll be fair. He does them with like quills and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and his get painted and like
Yeah, his are different. But anyways, so the first year he thought his Gwen Stacy, which is wonderful, was horrible, so he just gave it to me. And then last year he came over to and he says, "Here's your Green Goblin." I was like, "Oh man, awesome!" So I'm reaching in to pay money. I said, "Hey, I don't want money. I just want one of those awesome Real Nerds Blu-ray DVDs
Hell yeah.
combo pack." And so I gave him that. I think I got the better deal, but hey. Maybe we'll find out this year. I'm going to ask if he watched
put it in. Yeah, he put it in. He's like, oh man, I got burned.
Now we should really put up that interview because it's really funny at the beginning because
It is.
he's talking about being in episode 6 and he was wearing the same shirt in episode 6 as he was wearing in the interview we did this last year.
I think he just wears that like Armani shirt or whatever it is every year.
Yeah, it must be his like
It's
Sunday
like a t-shirt.
shirt.
Yeah.
You know, because some people do that. You know, you have a special like uniform and it's a Sunday shirt or
Yeah.
something, which is cool. But anyways, every week we go see a new movie and we podcast our experience to the world. This week we went and saw Kingsmen, The Secret Service.
Dun dun dun.
I don't think it needs the subtitle.
I don't either.
I think it just should be Kingsmen, but
I mean, unless the sequels are like the jurors, the secrets, like, you just make up a different name for whatever the
Sure.
American one is, or yeah.
But yeah, so we saw that this week. We also talk about movie news. Any movie news this week?
Yes.
We also
Nothing to do with Spider-Man.
What? Then talk about box office numbers, comic books, all that kind of jazz. I had a fun time at the comic shop this week. Me and Andrew were having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good guy. You should go see him. Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
It's a cool place.
It is. I have a comic this week, too, so won't let you down this week, guys. Won't let you down.
Is the Jean-Claude Van Damme soundtrack and the Real Nerds DVDs still
There's
there?
one copy of each.
Mm-hmm.
So one of each have sold.
That's
So
cool.
these are limited edition prints, guys. Make sure you
can't
get out
just
there
get
and
this
get
shit
them.
anywhere.
No, you got to go out there and get them.
I'll sign them for him if you want. If you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. Brad will. He's the producer of all of them and the album because you didn't contribute anything musically to it, did you?
No, I just did the graphic design and
So you basically are the producer and
I'm a producer.
compiler,
Producer.
the guy who takes
Composition master.
takes the
Editor.
with your. But what?
Oh my god, he's having a
I
stroke.
burned. I burned the CDs, man. He's a CD burner, man.
Nice.
Actually, Mike burned the CDs.
Son of a bitch! What did you do?
He's the designer, and he baked people. And for Ikanji, he fucking sucked their dick. He's like, you make this the theme.
God damn it! Aw, this is why nobody listens.
Dude, we have so many fans.
Yeah, we got like a couple new likes and follows today.
Yeah,
So thank you to all
and
you people.
I'm pretty sure it's because I'm active on Twitter and reposting stuff always. Or it might be your movie. I don't know.
Or it might be my sexy voice.
That's probably your sexy
I
voice.
appreciate how much you've been posting for the premiere.
Hey, man, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Not like I'm trying to be like
Not like James over here.
Do
who
you
doesn't-
appreciate the $1 what I spent on it?
You bought your ticket already?
Yeah, me and Rafe both bought tickets. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was looking at the thing a couple days ago. It's pretty full.
yeah, I had a hard time finding 2 spots.
There's
So-
like 70 seats sold.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And you know what? That's good for the Alamo. That means they can make money off of it.
Yeah.
And then when we go up to them and say, hey, we want to do Real Nerds Present, they're like, hey, you guys can bring people in.
I'm gonna buy a feast, man.
Did you oh, we have well, it doesn't matter now, but we had a custom menu for the show.
I saw that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So when you do your feast, there'll be a Bald Eagle milkshake, Dan Vanilla Porter, Endless Ninja popcorn.
What's
the
the
one?
pizza?
Oh, Pizza LeBlanc. It's a white pizza.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because LeBlanc is white.
Yeah. So it's,
Um,
you know what was cool is I took a screenshot of it. You can actually like see in the app in Brad's movie
I know
pops
I'm listed on Fandango and I'm listed on Alamo.
Yeah, it's
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
cool.
Damn, I forgot what I was going to say. I got derailed by the menu thing.
Well, I'm gonna buy a lot of it.
Cool.
Speaking of the Alamo, this is what's happening at the Alamo this week.
What is up, nerds? Hey, thanks so much for airing my spot last week. This is Steve Bissett, the creative manager of the Alamo Draft House. Really appreciate it. You nerds are super duper swell. Here's what I've got for you this week at the Alamo Draft House. Friday, February 20th, the last American version, a.k.a. the James Hart story. Sorry, buddy. Join us as Golan and Globus unzip our cinematic pants. Saturday, February 21st, is a wild and wacky day with a 35mm print of the sultry silent film Pandora's Box, with live score by the man, Paul Buscarello. Later that day, we have Bill Allen from Rad and Heroes of Dirt stopping by to tear it up with a Q&A of some totally badass flicks. Even later that night, the premiere of Naruto, The Last. It's been selling like crazy and we'll be adding more shows as necessary. Sunday, February 22nd, we have another 35mm print of the feel-good family comedy Blue Valentine. Just kidding, it's actually one of the most realistic love stories ever filmed and is excruciatingly heartfelt, heartbreaking, and gorgeous. Super sad, but super great. Monday, February 23rd, we have Stranger by the Lake, which is essentially cruising, but instead of it taking place in a leather bar, it's at a lake with strangers. Obvi. Later on that week, this Thursday, don't miss our second installment of Loins on Fire, our Nicholas Sparks series with Dear John. Make it a double feature and support film restoration and preservation with Vinegar Syndrome's Don't Go in the Woods right after. Not like going into Loins on Fire wouldn't be supporting the restoration of film. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoy your week, and we'll see you at the Draft House. Thanks, nerds.
Thanks, Steve, for calling in. Steve is the program manager, creative manager, program guy. Badass.
He said it in the audio.
Well, I only had the transcript. The transcript is horrible.
I believe he is the programming manager.
Also, I wanted to mention we also got a reach out from Kira from the Alamo Draft House, of course.
Cool.
Their film series this week is they have Lions on Fire, which is
Loins. Yeah.
There we go. Loins.
Lions on Fire, also an awesome idea for a movie.
It's 5 straight hours of
Loins on Fire
Narnia.
is a 4-part series running through March that's showcasing Nicholas Spark film adaptations every 2 weeks.
Oh.
The series begins February 11th. You missed it, guys. With a Walk to Remember. But this is the cool thing, though, is I'm reading it, and it's presented in... Walk to Remember was presented in 35 millimeter for Valentine's Day. If you want to... You can go on to the Alamo Draft House Denver and click on, and you can see the schedule for the whole Loins of Fire, on Fire. If you happen to get tickets to all 4, you'll get a free ticket to see the newest Nicholas Sparks film called The Longest Ride coming in April. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing with Alamo, is if you invest in them and you keep on going there, you'll find something that you love.
Oh, yeah.
Because later on this month, Army of Darkness is playing at the Alamo Draft
Did you get tickets yet?
No.
They're sold out already.
Is it sold out already?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Are they doing anything special with it? I didn't see.
It's like a beer thing, like a custom beer thing.
Of course, it'd be awesome.
Now I remember what I was supposed to say earlier. Is like, because we want to do Army of Darkness as like the Real Nerds Presents, but maybe we should just do the whole season of Real Nerds Pod Show as the...
But the point is we have to have people to come out.
Yeah.
No confidence in our show?
We need...
Well, people don't know who the fuck we are.
What would be cool is if you could get Timothy Quill to come out for it and host it.
See, here's the thing:
badass.
is I was thinking about doing a sleepaway camp one because we know Jonathan.
Yeah.
Even Jonathan's other film, A Perfect House.
Yeah.
The Perfect House. I mean, I'm friends with the director on Facebook, and he always emails me his projects that he's working on.
That'd be cool.
So we can do that.
We'll put something together.
We'll put something together. We got to really sit down with the management there.
Yeah.
And work something out. But anyways, Alamo Draft House in Denver is our preferred movie venue place. It sucks. My wife's been working Fridays, and then she works and goes to school on Saturdays. And so I haven't been able to go to the Alamo in like 3 weeks, and it's really bumming me out.
Lame.
I know. I had to go to Belmar one time, dude.
I went to the AMC out at Southlands this time, and that one's not bad. It's still an AMC, so it's really like sterile and not a lot of fun. But it's one of the ones that's got the reclining seats, and then they have a swing-in table, which is a really cool idea. So that's pretty neat.
So James,
but the food's nowhere near as good.
Oh yeah,
like not even close.
Me and Laura went to the Highlands Ranch AMC to see Into the Woods.
Oh yeah,
and she got a beer. It was like $14.
Holy shit!
God,
like, what? She kept the cup though. So
good.
We do have a cup that says MacGuffins, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. It's a great name for a bar.
It is.
It's a really good name for a bar.
James, are you logging a bunch of frequent flyer miles? Are you paying for your own airline ticket so you get the frequent flyer miles?
I mean, I have my own frequent flyer account.
Good.
Yeah.
So where are you going to go with all this traveling you've been doing?
I don't know, like
Bali.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bali. Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out in Bali. Go to the Best Exotic Bali Hotel.
They're making a sequel to that movie, perfect for you and your mom for date night.
God damn it!
That's so
an
sweet.
Adorable movie. You
every
don't even
every
understand.
time I see the title for the second best Marigold Hotel, I'm like, so that movie's going to be not as good.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all I hear.
I'm surprised no executive stood up and said like
you would understand it if you'd seen the first one.
I'd call it the bestest Marigold Hotel because it'd be this one's better than
I was thinking the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel 2, but it's T.O.
Oh yeah. I can't believe he's getting a sequel. The only thing I will say is that the trailer is charming.
The whole movie's charming. You should really see the first one. It's genuinely.
I don't know. You said the same thing about The Help.
Yeah, and it was a genuinely great movie. The Help is better, but still.
So we'll start with real news.
It's real news. Don't you own The Help now?
I
You
do. I do own The Help.
You do.
I love that
you
movie.
Fucker, what an asshole.
It's one of those things where you're like, oh, Emma Stone's in it. Am I going to love her? And you always do.
There's some really cool announcements from Marvel this week,
Very
including
cool.
the fact that Daredevil comes out, Deadpool comes out like 1 year from now.
Yeah. Did you see the picture of Ryan Reynolds with the mask?
Yeah.
Looks just like the comic book.
Yep.
So there you go.
There you go. Moving on, Jon Stewart is leaving The Daily Show.
I know, that's devastating.
Yeah.
I was reading an article on Forbes, and because Colbert and Jon Stewart left, cost Viacom $350 million in value
Holy shit.
in one day.
Wow. Man. Who'd
Awesome.
they piss off?
I don't know. The Jon Stewart thing, I understand. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been doing it for so long. That
Absolutely.
It is kind of weird, though, he didn't stay for one more election, and because that's when his show is
Wildly popular.
yeah, wildly popular. And
It's also what killed the show for me. I used to really like The Daily Show, and then when they started ramping up their election stuff, like it then just fed the fire of me not wanting to hear anything about elections at that point. You know, it was like, I don't know.
said the Republican.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to actually talk about politics. Fuck no. I want to vote blind.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you guys get a chance to see the trailer for Crimson Peak?
Yeah.
I was genuinely interested in that.
Well,
It seems
Guillermo
cool.
del Toro knows how to make things look cool.
Yeah, well, but at first, when they're talking about there's going to, like, go surreal and the stuff is moving, I'm like, wait, I don't want a Guillermo del Toro movie where I don't see the monster. If the monster is transparent, I will be disappointed, and then it's not.
Yeah.
So, seems cool.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere is really neat.
It's interesting that that trailer came out and that movie doesn't come out till October.
Yeah. Well, and we still haven't seen a Mission Impossible 5 trailer, and that comes out in July.
I know.
Like, where
I've seen set photos, though.
Oh, yeah, but, like... where
Tom
is that
Cruise
movie?
looking all handsome and shit.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Also got a trailer for The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which looks pretty
I didn't see that
cool.
one.
I actually saw it in front of the movie tonight. Because it's a Guy Ritchie movie, and tonight's movie is Matthew Vaughn. Like, it makes sense.
Is Armie Hammer British?
No, he's supposed to be Russian.
No, I mean as a human being, not a character.
Oh, I think he is, actually.
I just think it's funny
I
because
think so.
Superman there is British, but he's playing the American in the movie,
Uh-huh.
and then the American is playing a Russian.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's American.
I'm not sure if he is or not. I can't remember. Actually, I don't think he is, because if I can think back to the interviews for Social Network, I don't
he was
think-
born in Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Huh. Yeah.
Acting.
It looks Acting. It looks cool though. I'm really excited about that one. It seems I like seeing Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie makes cool
just-
movies.
Yeah, exactly. It's got some of that kinetic style.
Well, I haven't seen
already,
W.E., so I'm not sure all his movies are great, but...
Isn't that Madonna?
It is. But he directed it,
It's
didn't he?
Swept Away.
He Swept
is
Away
it.
is the one he did.
Yeah.
Whatever. Madonna's in both of them.
Yeah. Anyway, he's coming back. Anyway, that's news for this week.
You son of a bitch. That was news for the week.
Motherfucker. Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
It's-
So Marvel and Disney made an agreement, or Marvel and Fox, I should say. No, Sony made an agreement so that they can cross over the brands.
Yeah, it's funny. I was actually online when that news broke, and I hardly ever
Where
online.
else would you be?
Yeah, exactly. No, but it was like 10:30 at night, and I was fucking around on IGN. I was just fucking around, going through actually the Mortal Kombat wiki, and all of a sudden I just clicked back, and it's like breaking: Spider-Man now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I said, "Oh, they're just recycling news."
Yeah.
And I clicked on it, and no, it's real.
Yep.
And it's interesting. The whole little press release that they sent out is they're not exchanging any money. It's just basically Sony says, "We need help with Spider-Man."
Right.
I love Spider-Man too.
And it's not even just that, right? Like they
Amazing
know if they
Spider-Man
can
2.
tie their Spider-Man movies in with the Marvel franchise, they know their movie will make more money.
Yeah.
Right? So if they can let Marvel take some control and hopefully make their movies better, if they can then take all of that hype from the Avengers movie and throw it into theirs, they know they're going to make more money. Like
Yeah.
it's not a bad move.
No, and not at all. And it's because you're just basically saying that, hey, here's Spider-Man, put him in your movie, give him exposure, and then we'll make the movie with Kevin Feige only as producer doesn't have creative control. Bullshit.
Right.
So it's
Well, I mean, they could still fuck it up.
They
Like,
could.
Sony can still come in and be like, "We want Venom," and like.
and here's the thing: it's okay
Okay.
if they put Venom in. I don't care if they do, but you have to tell the right story,
Right.
And that's all that matters. I'm not one of those people that gets all bent out of shape when they change comic book stuff.
Right.
As long as they keep the characters true to who they are, it doesn't
Right.
matter. It doesn't matter that in Tim Burton's Batman that the Joker killed Batman's parents and is given a name.
Right.
And
So
I wasn't even listening.
are they officially going to get rid of what's his face, or is
Garfield,
there
yeah.
a chance that they might keep him around?
no, it's a bummer. I think Andrew Garfield is a great Peter Parker.
I don't know why you don't just keep him. Like,
They asked him.
Yeah,
He didn't
I
wanna do
guess
it.
I guess he asked me. He said he didn't want to do it.
okay. At
I
least
think
they
I
asked.
think he's still not. Something happened in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where he is not down with.
Huh.
And it was interesting. I was reading an article with him,
Well,
and I
they
guess
did, they did kill his real girlfriend. So
Yeah, he actually has. He isn't credited, but he wrote a lot of Peter Parker scenes because he felt they didn't write him very well. And the best news about this is Avi Arad has no creative control at all.
Yep.
Which is great news to me. A lot of comic book fans are pulling for Miles Morales to be Spider-Man, and I was talking to Andrew about this, and I don't think people who are not comic book fans will know who Miles Morales is. I think it's too big of a chance.
Yeah.
But not saying you couldn't have Donald Glover be Spider-Man.
Oh, totally.
And be Peter Parker. I mean, that's fine.
That'd be awesome.
I just don't think you should change the name.
Yeah.
I think you keep him Peter Parker. I don't care what his ethnicity is or whatever.
Right.
But it's actually, I saw a really funny thing on the internet. I forget who posted it. I want to say it was Dorkly. It's this really silly video game website. And it said they cast an African American as Spider-Man, and this is what he looks like, and it's just a picture of Spider-Man in full costume.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon did that
It
joke.
was Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh, that's weird.
But yeah, so it doesn't. The news is amazing, and that he's going to be in Civil War. Some people are up in arms because they pushed some of the Marvel stuff.
They hardly. All they did was they pushed Thor to the fall. There was only one Marvel movie that year. So
yeah, Thor and Black Panther's a little later, but
yeah.
But here's the thing with that stuff is they
Black
don't even
Panther,
have scripts.
They could do it any time, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the only one that's really affected is Thor because you want to keep the ones that you already have set up and moving. You want to keep those in the consciousness. Like Black Panther is Black Panther.
Yeah.
Just make a Black Panther movie whenever you want to.
Yeah.
They could even do it just like Ant-Man, where you just like pop it up in the middle of the summer and it's a third Marvel movie, or it's like a weird offshoot. Like,
Oh, and I was telling you that me and Andrew had a great conversation at the comic store, and we were talking about this, and he said, "So what do you think about them doing an origin?" I'm like, "Oh God, I hope they don't do an origin."
Oh,
but
no,
how do
don't.
you establish that origin? So you can have in the new Spider-Man movie the villain be Mysterio, and Spider-Man is reliving all of his events. So through hallucinating from Mysterio's magic, and so it's a little darker tone.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little different, and you're playing with how the story's told. So people know that Uncle Ben was shot, but what if you have Peter being affected by Mysterio and he sees Aunt May being killed instead, and you think it's canon and what's happening? So you could have Mysterio set up the canon of the new Spider-Man world.
If I remember the timeline right, and correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't this mean that the first time he shows up is going to be in Captain America?
Yeah.
Right. So the truth is, they're going to have to, like, by the time they get to a Spider-Man movie, we're already going to be familiar with
Exactly.
the
That's why you don't need it.
You don't really need to do that story at all.
So I'm just saying that you could take like a Mysterio and kind of have him mess with Spider-Man and change how people perceive him and make it darker. And
What do you call it? Do you call it Spider-Man?
I think you call it Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't know. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I was just gonna say Friendly
That'd be
Neighborhood.
Sweet.
Yeah, Mary Jane loves Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's a big thing going. Who's going to be his love interest? He doesn't need one. He doesn't need one.
No, you need an attractive sidekick.
You don't.
need like
Spider-Man doesn't need it. I know they asked J.K. Simmons if he'd come back, and he said,
Hell
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I think you just need to set up the world. I don't think he needs to have a girlfriend who's in trouble. I think he just needs to be set up in the world.
I know who should play Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire.
Yes. 40-year-old Tobey Maguire. No, they're already reaching. There's so much going on right now. They're already reaching out to pretty young actors like in the early 20s.
They should do when he shows up in Captain America, he should be older, sort of retired, like a politician now, and that's why he's like, people shouldn't reveal who they are. Like, no.
I don't know how you're going to introduce him in, because he seems like Captain America Civil War is going to be really loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be awesome. But
he's supposed to be because they want him in high school.
Yeah.
So I don't know how a kid in high school figures into the grand scheme of the.
Well, I mean, he's
Thanos and stuff.
It won't. I mean,
that's not part of. So I don't know.
No. For Civil War will basically just be about
Iron Man versus Captain America.
Yes,
yeah, and it's a clash of ideals.
Right.
So
it's really about whether or not superheroes should have to reveal who they are, so that way they can be held accountable for their actions.
It's an interesting story because what happens in the beginning is the new Warriors chase Nitro into the schoolyard, and Nitro's a villain who can blow himself up. He blows himself up and kills school children. The public becomes outraged. Congress says, okay, here's a superhuman registration act. Iron Man gets behind it, gets Spider-Man to join. Spider-Man reveals himself to the world. And then halfway through, Spider-Man flips sides because he feels that it's wrong.
Yeah.
And Captain America thinks you should protect your civil liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Also, your family.
If you have not read Civil War, and I just spoiled a lot of it for you, go to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Pick that shit up.
Trust me, they have 10 copies of Civil War in trade paperback. Pick it up. You will not be sorry. It is a great story.
Huh? You can even get the audiobook and listen to it like your grandmother did.
As my grandmother did.
Oh, man.
But it's pretty amazing that this happened.
Yeah.
Because
it's cool. It's people making good decisions based on, well, I mean, it's really based on financial reasons, but at the same time, it's pro storytelling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They realize that this other company that has been as successful as they are because they're making pretty tight blockbuster action movies that also have a good core to them.
Yeah.
And even though they've done a good job, with the Amazing Spider-Man movies, they did a pretty good job of keeping that core. I think they also understand that they are on the verge. If they rebooted it again or something like that, or took it in a bad direction, they were on the verge of ruining that series again.
Yeah, that's the problem. I love Amazing Spider-Man too. That's because I'm a Spider-Man fan, so I can forgive the lapses in logic and stuff.
Right.
Where people like Brad
and the silly moments and
doesn't forgive stuff like that because he doesn't care.
Right.
For me, I'm like, oh, I love it, so it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
But they need to put faith back into the character.
Well, and everything they were saying about where they were going to take that series sounded like a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Sinister Six and all of this other stuff. You were just like, this is not... How about you make a third one and that one's good too?
Yeah.
If you could make 3 Spider-Man movies good and put those under your belt in a row, all right, then we'll trust you with expanded universes and all this shit.
So you're fine with the lightning bolts on Electro's suit now?
No, I still think it's stupid, but... But I still think Electro visually is a sweet villain.
It's a cool looking villain.
I mean,
not as cool as he is in the Ultimate Universe, but still cool.
Yeah, and watching it on Blu-ray, that last fight scene, it's really CGI heavy.
Yeah.
But there's moments where there's purples, greens, blues, pinks, all exploding on. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's issues with the movie, but it doesn't mean it's not my favorite movie from last year.
Right. Yeah.
It redeems itself.
Agreed. It's cool.
Yeah.
This is a cool thing. So
sometimes nerds win.
Mm-hmm. Except for Batman and Superman, which is going to be fucking horrible. Anyway,
I don't know.
What are we doing next?
This is the #1 movie in box office last year.
This is the box office stats.
That's my SpongeBob. That was pretty good.
That was not bad.
Was it 56 million?
It was 55-ish. Yeah. 55.3.
It's pretty impressive
Yeah.
for a movie I didn't know was going to do that well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And, it's funny, though. I want to see the movie because every time they say, oh, man, if we eat that much cotton candy, we can go around the world. And then their eyeballs get, really cartoony and big. And they start laughing and all the world goes behind them. I think it's funny. But I was also read that it's only the last, 10 minutes of the movie is that part where it's live action.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. The movie we saw, Jupiter Ascending, came in at number 3 with $18 million. Actually got beat by American Sniper still. So that movie deserves to lose.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Come
on, Wachowskis.
Yep.
Go back to your Matrix hole from 15 years ago. You can do it.
Oh man,
16 years? Is it 99 was The Matrix?
99. Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. That movie's good.
It is.
People should see The Matrix.
I'm more of a fan of Matrix Revolutions. Has anyone seen that one?
I'm a big fan of Enter the Matrix, the video game. I think that was the best of all the Matrixes.
With its horrible camera.
Matrices, yes.
Matrices.
The Matrices trilogy. Anyway,
Yeah.
DVDs?
Cool.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. Game of Thrones Season 4 is the
Ooh,
big
I'm
release
getting
from
that.
this week. Yeah, did you pre-order it?
I did.
It's got a big crow on it.
I pre-ordered it because if you pre-order it, it's like $27 opposed to like the $80 it'll be next week.
The tagline is "All men must die," which is also the tagline for "Y the Last Man." So maybe that show's going to get better. The Theory of Everything is coming out this week, which is cool.
I'll have to rent that.
Yeah, that was one of those that I missed from last year. I saw the other British science movie. The Interview is getting its DVD releases or Blu-ray release this week.
Too.
Yeah. I'll probably pick it up. I don't know. It's only $13. Like,
Yeah.
I don't love that movie. I don't love that movie enough that I would necessarily buy it right away. But at the same time, there is still a little bit of that fire where I'm like, well, I want to throw some money at those guys because they lost like $6 million.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know,
About a movie, it's still watching that movie. I cannot believe they're upset about that movie. It is really a bromance between Rogan and Franco.
yeah. I mean, it's just it's not even a brilliant like comedy, and it's not a brilliant political statement. So it's just a
Wow, people
Dumb
are
idea.
overreacting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Tale of Princess Kaguya, which is an old Studio Ghibli movie that's getting its Blu-ray release this week, so check that out.
Does New Year's Evil come out too? I think I have that one coming.
Shoot, I didn't see that one. New Year's Evil?
It's a Scream Factory. I think it's this
I
week.
opened
I
a
don't
bunch
remember.
I opened a bunch of horror movies that we'll get to, but anyway,
I don't remember.
that one I didn't see.
Maybe it's next week.
But it might be.
I don't remember.
Slipped under the radar. The Homesman, which is a Hilary Swank, Tommy Lee Jones Western movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I actually like the trailer for, so I might check that out. St. Vincent, which was nominated for some Golden Globes. Dumb and Dumber 2,
Mm-hmm.
which my joke was not as funny.
Nope.
But neither was that movie, I would bet. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Wasn't
Did any of
horrible.
us see it? Did you
It's
guys see
all
it?
There was moments that were pretty funny.
Yeah.
My favorite joke in it is Lloyd and Harry go to this guy's house because they want to get his bike back. Why do they go to the house? Or they get a letter, and he says, well, he died in a motorcycle accident. And Lloyd says, oh, yeah, I traded him for his helmet straight up.
Yeah.
And the reason he's dead because he traded his helmet. That's funny. That's a joke that takes a lot of setup to get to, but it's great.
Doctor Who, the Christmas special is coming out this week. Caveman, starring Ringo Starr.
Nice.
Oh,
Is Phantom of the Opera this week? I think it's Phantom of the Opera.
All right, let me skip ahead a couple.
Sorry.
Hold on. Pause. Phantom of the Opera.
Starring Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund.
That's coming out this week.
See, I knew I had something from Scream Factory coming.
Yes, you did. See, I was going to get there. VHS Viral, which I think that's the third VHS movie.
Yeah.
Did you guys didn't see this one?
No, I saw the first two. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it in the theaters. Like, I mean, I
didn't
didn't
even
see
know
it in
it
the
was
theaters, but also
existing.
didn't see it in theaters.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't see that it was in theaters.
If it was available somewhere,
I mean,
I
what did you think of the first two? I can't.
It's like the ABCs of Death. It's just like,
Yeah, there's some that stand out. Like the first one, the last one, the haunted house one was really good.
But there's not as many. There are only like 4 or 6.
Yeah.
the only thing I really remember like is the one with the succubus, and then that was
Yeah,
the first one.
that
And
was
then
the
the
first
second
one.
one had that like that cult
Yeah,
where everyone was
that
getting
one was
stabbed.
a long one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would bet that this one is all like web stuff.
yeah.
Like, I saw a trailer tonight for Unfriended, which looks like the shittiest new idea for a basically found footage movie where the whole
Facebook kills you.
yeah, the whole
Wait,
movie is
really?
like the whole movie is in like a Skype call between friends, and so like the story is like, oh, this girl dies and she killed herself a couple days after they had released this video of her like getting drunk and doing something stupid, and like she didn't know who released it, and then she killed herself, and then now all of her friends are like Skyping with each other on like a
Whatever,
group
dude.
call.
Coca-Cola poured Coke on the internet, and it made everything better. Have you seen that shitty commercial?
No.
It's a commercial that starts off where this kids being cyberbullied, and he's like, "I hate you." And then some technician spills Coke into like a server, and then the Coke makes everything when people are arguing and saying bad things on the internet better.
Maybe that's how they'll. Maybe that's how the movie will end.
I don't. Have you guys seen a preview for the movie called The Duff?
No.
It's really shitty, and it's these kids who's saying, "Oh, you're the Duff." Like they're trying to create this new.
It's like Streets Ahead.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to create this new put down called The Duff.
Yeah.
And it's basically, you remember She's All That, and the girl was really hot, and all she did was wear like overalls, and everyone said, "Oh, she's so ugly." It's that joke from Not Another Teen Movie,
right?
And it's basically the same thing. I don't know.
Okay, huh?
I want to watch Not Another Teen Movie.
If you were going to create a new term though for that, you shouldn't use one that is popularized by The Simpsons, because everybody's just going to see that and go, "Oh, Duff beer." No. This is like our. We made this up. No, you didn't. It's Duff beer. Life Itself comes out on Blu-ray this week, which is cool. I haven't gotten a chance to see that yet, so I'll check it out. Jack Lemmon's How to Murder Your Wife.
Nice.
Gets a Blu-ray release. This I really like this cover. This looks like an old EC Comics cover where there's like this, it's all painted. It's an old 50s movie. It's all painted, and there's his wife sitting there looking, smiling, and there's Jack Lemmon in the back with a plunger that says explosives on the side, and he's like smiling and about to blow her up.
Nice. I love it.
Shit. I honestly want to just pick this up because I think that cover is so cool. Nicolas Cage's Dying of the Light. No reference to Interstellar, just some...
Is it another DVD cover where it's like a really bad photoshopped Nicolas Cage?
You know it.
I love it.
Oh my god, it's one of the worst ones I've seen. You can probably tell just from here, like how poorly photoshopped his face is.
I don't have time to be bothered with having my photo taken for this poster.
Oh man, it's a particularly bad one. And then finally, Muscle Beach Party comes out on Blu-ray this week,
starring Brad Haig.
Actually starring Peter Lorre
and Brad Haig.
Yep,
and his muscles.
Another really good cover on this one because it's just like cartoon people, and they're all having a Muscle Beach Party.
I love it.
Yeah. So check it out. Go buy some stuff.
If you use a link from Digital Bits, you support the Digital Bits. Oh man, Tuesday I got to go to Best Buy.
Yeah.
Munich, baby.
Okay.
Oh yeah, is that the?
Oh, did you see that they're releasing all those Spielberg movies on Blu-ray?
Oh no, I didn't.
I posted that on our thing too. Yeah, like Duel,
Always.
Sugarland Express.
Oh, is it that 4-pack?
No, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
they're all
They're
separate.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
1941.
Yeah, May 5th, I think, is when it all comes out.
Cool.
Yeah, so Spielberg fans finally snatched those up.
Awesome.
I can't wait, man. I haven't seen some of those movies in so long.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even tell you.
Are they good releases?
Basically they're taking what was in the Spielberg Directors Collection and making them individual.
Okay.
And eyes on Blu-ray.com, some of them have
not that I want them all
special
to be,
features and other ones don't.
Yeah, it's not that I want them all to be Jaws, but at the same time, I'd like for them each to have.
I do know the 1941 has 2 cuts of the film and like an hour-and-a-half documentary from the Laserdisc on there. So, at least they're porting over special features.
What was the horror movie you were talking about?
New Year's Evil. Maybe it's a couple
I'm not
weeks.
seeing that here.
I don't know. I pre-order all Scream Factory stuff, so I don't know when it shows up.
Did you see they got the cover art for Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3?
Yeah. Those movies are not good. In fact, if you talk to our buddy Jonathan Tiersten, he wants nothing to do with them. He also doesn't want anything to do with Return to Sleepaway Camp, which he's in. But, I saw that I was at Second Spin, and they had Return to Sleepaway Camp for like $1. I should have got it. But I did not.
That's it.
Nice. What do you want to do now?
I don't know. Comics?
Okay.
What's up, nerds? It's the Comics Corner.
You already talked about Civil War.
We did talk about Civil War. But I'm going to meld this in with video games, guys. Mortal Kombat X has a comic that came out, and I didn't know if it'd be any good. The art on the cover is really badass. It's done by Ivan Riaz, I think is who it is. It looks sweet. And anytime you have, and it was digital first, so I was really concerned because the covers are badass. But anytime you get a licensed product and the covers are badass, usually the art on the inside is nowhere near as good.
Right.
But it's actually
like everything Army of Darkness.
Oh, dude! I told Andrew to stop giving me Army of Darkness comics after the last one I read. But anyways, they And it's basically telling the prequel before the video game comes out. And it's pretty interesting. You have to be kind of well-versed in Mortal Kombat mythology. But the basic story is they took some endings from Mortal Kombat that came out in 2011, and Scorpion is redeemed and he gets his soul back, and so now he's training ninjas again, and he's given a pupil and he's training all these other kids, and one of them gets possessed and kills people, and so he takes another kid under his wing and kind of teaches them the ways. And it's just really fascinating. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you'll really like it. If you don't like Mortal Kombat, you'll have no idea what's going on in it, because they pull characters like Su Hao, who was in one Mortal Kombat, shows up in it, and you have to kind of know his backstory with the Black Dragons and stuff to fully appreciate what's going on. But if you're a fan, I definitely think you should pick them up. Plus, if you don't get them on digital first, when they release them as a collection, they're 40 pages, and it's only $3.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal, and they're pretty fun to read. If you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I would definitely check it out.
Cool.
And the covers are sweet. I forgot to get it this week because I only went down to get the end of Spider-Verse, and he was still putting away comics. But the new cover sweet, it's of Raiden. But he sold out, so sorry guys, you're going to have to get the first one on digital, or unless you can find the first one around town. Yeah, Andrew was actually surprised by how many of those he sold. I sent him a message, and I said, hey man, I forgot to tell you, I want the new Mortal Kombat comic, and it came in 2 covers, a Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Mm-hmm. And I said, I just want both of them. And then I went in that day, he says, man, you're lucky you asked me for them, because I sold the other 10 copies I got. So,
wow.
Yeah, he burned through them.
When's Mortal Kombat come out?
April 14th.
Cool. I mean, I'm not gonna play it because I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy, but cool.
You should get it. It looks sweet.
Yeah.
They have this cool new thing where, have you played Injustice?
Only a little bit. They made it free on PlayStation Plus.
They have a thing called Star Labs in that, where basically you take a character, it's Batman, and let's say the mod is Joker's poisoned, and so you can't touch him. If you touch him, or if you get close to him, you lose energy. Mm-hmm. For Mortal Kombat, the new one coming out, they're going to have it constantly updated, so they're going to have constant new challenges all the time.
Cool.
And the game looks amazing. And if you haven't played Injustice, I think you should go get Injustice. You can get the complete collection, I think, for $18 now on PS3 or...
Yeah, it was free on Plus 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I got it then and messed around with it a little bit, but
it's fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, pick up Mortal Kombat X if you're a Mortal Kombat fan. Or pick up the concluding chapter of Spider-Verse. It's pretty funny. And then Batman. I'm actually a week behind on Batman, but Endgame Part 4 came out. Oh my gosh. You have to read that book.
No.
Oh, dude.
I think you talked about it the last time I was on here.
Yeah, I talk about it every month because I want people to read it.
The Joker infiltrated Gordon's house. Yeah.
So this one, he's actually telling a different origin again. And it's you go back and look at pictures of Gotham 100 years ago, and the Joker's in the pictures. So they're saying that it might be something to do with the Lazarus Pit, or that there's more than one Joker, and it's a guy who just keeps on.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
That's cool.
And I was reading an interview with Scott Snyder, who's the writer, and he said this was originally going to be his last arc he ever wrote for Batman. So he basically said, I'm bringing the Joker back for this, and it's going to be the end-all, be-all for me. And that.
Right.
But then he came up with an idea for afterwards. But I'm telling you have to pick up Endgame. I'm not even a Batman fan, but Scott Snyder makes really cool Joker stories.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Cool.
And you never know with the Joker. He's probably lying anyways.
Awesome.
What's next? I think we only have one thing, right?
Yeah. What have we been watching?
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Oh, I'm so much more important than you guys. I'll go first.
You son of a bitch.
Unless you want to go first, James.
I don't really care. I just
okay,
want you
good.
To go.
Just want to tell me I'm a son of a bitch?
Uh-huh.
You're a son of a bitch.
You're a son of a bitch.
So I had this really weird thing going on early this week where the signs were pointing for me to watch Predator. I was driving. I was picking up something from my wife, and then
I love the idea that the universe moved
so I could watch
Predator.
And then Long Tall Sally came on when I was driving. I was like, oh man, this is like when Painless is listening to it, and he says, "You guys are nothing but a bunch of slapjaw faggots running around here." And
Shit.
I had a couple other things. I forget what they all were, but I ran home and I watched Predator. That movie's so awesome. I don't know, Brad, have you seen the Blu-ray of Predator?
Yeah, I have it, yeah.
I was reading a bunch of reviews on it online. Blu-ray.com has awesome reviews for Blu-rays if you didn't know. And I guess there's a big problem with the Predator video on Blu-ray that they cleaned it up too much.
I have both versions.
Yeah? Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the cleaned up one or the gritty one?
I can see the difference, but neither of them really detract from the movie for me.
I think that the cleaned up one looks really nice. I don't think I need...
It does look better, but it's I can see where they would nitpick the fact that everyone looks too waxy.
Mm-hmm. I still had fun watching it. And
they're in the jungle, so they're all sweaty. So
yeah, it's such an unusual movie too, because it starts off as this war movie, and then it goes into a science fiction, and then kind of a horror movie, and it's awesome. It might be Arnold's best movie. It might be.
I'd say yeah. Well, no, Terminator 2, but
yeah. See, I'm always torn because there's some days that Kindergarten Cop isn't a great movie, but it's still one of my favorite Arnold movies. So I don't know. Do you know what the original title for Predator was? No.
The Hunter.
The Hunter.
Predator's way more badass.
Yeah. And have you seen the special features with Jean-Claude Van Damme dressed up as the Predator?
Well, that weird
that weird mantis, praying mantis.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, whatever it was. I don't know. But yeah, no, I love that movie. And
the fact that they went from that rubbery mask to the existing Stan Winston,
and it's such an iconic villain now.
Yeah.
It's I miss movies like that though. I miss
Stan Winston.
Yeah, action movies where it's basically mano a mano, macho versus macho. Because that last bit, the Predator can just use his weapons to kill Arnold, but he takes his weapons off and he takes off his mask. He just beats him up. And Arnold's such a great actor where he doesn't get a lot of credit for it. But, the part where he lures the Predator into the trap, he's like, I'm here, kill me, I'm here. And the Predator is about to get him, and then the Predator knows it's a trap, and he walks around. His face is amazing at that part where he's like, oh, fuck.
You're an ugly motherfucker. I did a scene of that for Mr. Klug's theater class.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get it.
No? Oh, man.
It was when Dylan and Dutch meet up.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I know that was my quote on Twitter. What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils? But you forget too that he was betrayed by Dylan and everything. And man, I watch that movie probably once a year, but the little nuances in it I freaking love.
That's funny. I should watch it again. I got a weird pull to watch Predators some weeks ago because I think I got.
I think that movie's cool too
or something. Yeah, and it was cool, but I should have immediately gone to watch Predator again because it's been a while.
Oh yeah.
I do not own Predator 2 because fuck that shit.
Why?
That movie's bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The movie's bad.
There's worse things. You can get it for $7 now.
There are worse
on
things,
Blu-ray,
like Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like Predator 2. Like when he throws the disc and it cuts Gary Busey in half.
No.
I've watched it a couple times. I never it never sticks with me. I never remember what actually happened in the movie. Obviously Danny Glover's in it.
Yeah, it's silly. There's a part where the Predator holds up his spear and he gets struck by lightning. It's silly, but
that movie is dumb.
It's still fun.
Yeah, it's just slow. It's a lot of Danny Glover climbing up into a spaceship and Danny Glover walking around a spaceship.
I'm gonna have me some fun tonight. I'm gonna have me some fun tonight. That's from the first Predator.
I think the beauty of the first one is it's so simple, and straightforward, and all the other ones they overcomplicate.
And look, no offense to
Danny
try and
Glover.
Make
it better. But
I love Danny Glover, but the first movie is a whole bunch of badass dudes in the jungle getting slaughtered. Danny Glover, I don't want the Predator to have to fight the thinking man's cop. That's not why I like Predator. So
he's got to fight Crazy Riggs.
Yeah?
Who wants to die.
Predator 2
dude, versus
Riggs?
That would be awesome.
Dude, Lethal Weapon Predator would be great.
That would be awesome.
I'm too old for this shit.
For Friday the 13th, I watched Friday the 13th Part 3. Not that it's the best one, I just love the heroine in it. I think she's really cute. Her name's Chris.
Which one is Friday the 13th 3?
It's the 3D one.
Oh, well, duh. It's 3.
They're
finally
in
gets his hockey mask.
they're in the forest, and he kills a bunch of people.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know if you know that one. It's the first one where he gets his hockey mask.
Okay.
The movie's actually one of my...
Is Jason, or is Jason
Yeah.
like an old lady?
Is Jason.
Okay.
It's actually one of my least favorite ones because I don't think this... It sounds stupid, but the story isn't that good, and the acting isn't very good. But there's some really awesome moments in it. Like, there's this kid who's doing a handstand, and he's walking, and the 3D effect is Jason shows up behind him, and he chops him in half with, like, his machete between his legs, and is really gory, and the camera's underneath him. I'm, like, motioning like people can see it. The camera's underneath the kid on the handstand, so you see the blood, like, pour down and hit the screen. And he also grabs this guy, and he pushes his head so hard that his eyeball pops out towards screen. Dude, we should see if we get Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D and show that at the Alamo. That would be freaking awesome.
October.
And he gets his mask in that, and it's an all right Friday the 13th. It's better than Part 5 and Jason Goes to Hell. So there's that. Part 5 is horrible. It's not really Jason. I hate when Jason's not Jason. You know?
Is that the one where he's on a boat the whole time?
No, that takes Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Which that one's weird too. It has really lots of supernatural stuff. But I watch it for Friday the 13th because I always do.
After like 4 years of doing this and talking about these movies, I still can't keep straight which one's which.
Anytime you want to borrow the complete collection, James,
maybe
go
because
ahead.
I have not seen any of them.
You should.
I'm just trying to like learn them vicariously through you talking about them.
You watch them; they're not bad.
First one, it's his mom. Second one, it's him, but he doesn't have a mask.
Yeah. Third one's The Mask.
Fourth one's
Fourth one's
got Corey
badass.
Feldman in it. Fifth one's
Okay.
The New Beginning. It doesn't have anything in it.
6 is my favorite.
7 is The New Blood.
Yeah, with a girl who's like has telekinesis.
That's right.
6 is your favorite, but that's the one on the boat.
No, that's
What happens in 6?
it's Jason Lives. It's the one where he gets brought back to life by like Frankenstein,
Mm.
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah, 8's Manhattan, or The Boat.
Oh my god.
Really, The Boat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that is
all you need to know.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
Then Jason X, which I actually think is better than a lot of people think it is. It's just really cheaply shot.
It's like a sci-fi channel
Yeah,
movie.
it's like, Jason looks way out of place in it. Just the lighting in it drives me crazy. And Harry Manfredini, who did all the soundtracks or the score for all the Friday 13th, his score is really bad in that movie, and so bad that he didn't show back up for Freddy versus Jason. But yeah, so I watched that, and then my 2 Tom Cruise movies. I watched The Judge again, which by the way on Blu-ray looks beautiful, and it actually has one of my
Wait, The Judge?
Yeah, The Judge.
Oh, Tom Cruise is not in The Judge.
No, I'm sorry. I
Okay.
skipped one. But
Sorry.
because I just want to bring up that it has actually one of my favorite special features in a long time.
Really?
There's a commentary with the director, but they have like a 35-minute round table with all the stars, which is basically a commentary with them. So you have Robert Duvall, Vera Farmiga, Vincent D'Onofrio, Robert Downey Jr.
That's cool.
All these people and his wife, who's the producer.
Billy Bob Thornton in it?
No,
Oh,
that's the only
fine.
bummer. But they're all talking about it and how they were making this project. And the guy who plays Dell, I forget his name, but he's the mentally handicapped brother
Yeah.
of theirs.
Right.
How Robert and Vincent D'Onofrio, when that scene at the end where they hug, he actually improvised him like crying at that moment, and how RDJ and Vincent D'Onofrio did it off camera so he could get in the right moment. And Robert Duvall is there's a really funny story with Dak Shepard where there's a scene in the early courtroom where Dak Shepard had his real cup of coffee.
Fucking Dak Shepard.
I know.
Wow, I forgot.
And he was drinking out of it, but it wasn't part of the scene. And David Dobkin is the director, and he came over and he said, "Hey, Dax, I want to tell you something." And Robert Duvall says, "Yeah, you have the wrong coffee in this scene." He was all pissed off, and it was funny. But it was a really cool like round table. It's a short, like 30 minutes, but it's really cool to hear all them all talk together and how they found their characters and
That's a cool idea.
yeah, and their process in each scene. It's really fascinating.
Is it intercut with scenes from the movie?
Yeah.
Cool.
So they say, "Hey, what do you think about this scene?" And they talk about it and how Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall taught people how to be better actors, and Vera Farmiga said it's so weird working with Robert because he's always on, he's always on, he's always on, and then when the scene starts, he's back to being the character he is, and I can see how working with Robert Downey Jr. is probably a challenge because he's a very busy person,
Right.
Great actor. And if he's listening to this, Robert, please come on my show, or I will fly to California and interview you to be on my show. And so I watched 2 Tom Cruise movies I've never seen this week. Far and Away, which have you guys seen Far and Away?
Yes.
Not good.
Nope. Real long.
Here's the thing: is again, I don't think there's.
Wait. Did you just say not good? Because didn't you say
No,
once
here's the thing.
Tom Cruise doesn't make a bad movie?
It's not a bad movie.
True. Okay, you're right. You said not good. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie, but it doesn't seem like there's really a plot to it.
It's pretty boring.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
It's like an epic, but not very epic.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about his accent. I think he's actually pretty good in it. I don't think
whatever.
there's a part where I was like, oh man, that's just a horrible.
Yeah, the problem with the movie is not his accent.
No, it's just because it's really. I can't describe it. Nothing really happens.
There's more scope than there is plot.
Exactly.
That's a Ron Howard movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And I remember I went back and I read about it, and what's big selling point when it came out, it was a 70 millimeter, and so it's trying to create that scope.
Yeah.
It seems like nothing really happens. And I mean, he leaves Ireland because they get kicked out because his dad died, and then he runs away with Nicole Kidman, who she's bad. Like, I don't know how she ever got nominated for an Oscar.
Is that where they met?
Days of Thunder is where they met.
Oh, that's right.
Get out of the cockle, get out of the guard. That's a great tweet.
I said,
get off the whole skull.
let me out the whole skull.
Let me out the whole have you seen Far and Away?
No, I just imagined that was something in the movie.
So the whole point is Nicole Kidman wants to go to Oklahoma where people are they're giving away land, which is true. They would give away land, so people, basically the government give away land, so you
Homestead Rush,
yeah, so you would settle there and build towns is what they wanted. So you're leading up to that, and I'm like, oh, now they have to be going to Oklahoma. The Oklahoma part is literally the last 10 minutes of the movie. The rest of the 2 hours is like, I like the scenes when he was boxing and stuff. I thought was cool.
Yeah, it's like an immigration movie.
Yeah,
right?
but
so it's about like how hard it was for Irish people to come over here and make a new world from themselves.
Yeah, but it also feels like there's lots missing from it, even though it's really long. It seems like there's stuff missing from it.
Like a plot.
Yeah. And then at the end, he dies, and they have this crane. Sorry, spoilers. They have this crane, like, going away, and then it cuts to Nicole Kidman saying, no, I can't do this by myself. And then it comes back like it's his soul. Like his soul left, and then his soul came back to him.
Yep.
And I said, whoa, that's really weird and tonally not what this movie is about. But it looks nice. And the Blu-ray actually looks really nice. It was interesting when I got done watching it. There's only one special feature on the Blu-ray, which is the theatrical trailer. And I said, man, how did they sell this movie? And when I watched the trailer, I said, yep, still don't like it.
Baz Luhrmann's Australia is a better version of that movie.
Really? Also starring Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
But
like, like the tones and the themes seem very similar to me, but I like that movie better.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when I'll watch it again, but I think I will. I just don't know when, because I just like Tom Cruise, but it really didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I thought it was just about him boxing. I really did.
I watched it in high school for a class, and in school it's always like, oh, cool, we're gonna watch a movie for like 2 days or whatever. And I think for that one it ended up being like 3 days of class because it's so long. I wanted to go back to studying things because I remember the movie just being pretty boring.
He should have tattooed on his knuckles, like far on one hand and away on the other.
That would have been sweet.
Awesome.
And then I watched probably the worst Tom Cruise movie I've seen, and it's called Losing It, which is this 80s sex comedy that I was been trying to find forever. Actually, that's why I went to Second Spin. So I was hoping they would have Losing It. They had Taps, but they didn't have Losing It. And I did the thing on Amazon, and actually I found it for $6 when it was paired with another movie. And in it, Tom Cruise and
Jackie Earle Haley
play virgins who go down to Tijuana to lose their virginity. And it starts off with a sweet theme song going, losing it, abusing it. It's horrible. And it's funny because now they bill that movie as a Tom Cruise movie because of who Tom Cruise is.
Right.
It's not really a Tom Cruise movie. He's maybe the second lead in it, like a co-lead. And so Jackie Earl Haley tries to be this really funny, dopey guy in it. It just comes across as irritating. There's some funny moments in it, but it's not enough. Because sometimes I forgive 80s sex comedies because they're just stupid. But where the bachelor party is funny with Tom Hanks, this one is...
Yeah.
Yeah. And it pissed me off, too. I got the DVD, and on the sticker it says, losing it widescreen. It's fucking full frame.
Ew.
That pissed me off. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they didn't care about the movie because anybody else hear about losing it? I think it made like $2 million.
And it has like a label on the one side, right?
No, it's actually separate DVDs. It's paired with The Last American Virgin. I don't know.
Oh, so it's a 2-pack or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
because it's a totally awesome 80s collection.
I was going to say, did you flip it over because maybe the
Is it?
widescreen's on the...
Yeah, right.
So I'm looking at pictures. Jackie Earle Haley still looks like he's a 40-year-old guy.
I know, he looks weird.
Oh, man.
And it's funny because everyone talks about how short Tom Cruise is, and
Jackie Earle Haley is significantly shorter.
Like up to Tom Cruise's shoulders in this.
Yeah.
There's a guy from who's the Iceman's wingman in Top Gun. He's in it. Oh. I forget his name in it.
Shoot.
But he's in it. Shelley Long is the professor that Tom Cruise sleeps with instead of the Tijuana hooker. Oh, the Tijuana whore. I'm sorry. And they're also credited in the credits as whores.
Oh.
I know there's some funny parts in it. It's just not a well-made movie. And it's actually directed by a Oscar winner. Who's the director? Can you look that up?
Curtis Hanson.
Curtis Hanson is the director.
What did he win an Oscar for?
I
don't know.
Was
Eight
it
Mile?
8 Mile.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. So you never know where your career is going to start.
No.
Wrong
Holy
guy?
shit. L.A. Confidential.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Losing it from the director of L.A. Confidential. Wow.
And they have really cool like 50s and 60s music in it though. There's that.
Man.
And yeah.
You found a good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, my Tom Cruise this week was uneventful.
Huh.
It's hard. I have to find time to watch The Last Samurai. It's hard. It's like 3 hours and 20 minutes long.
That's a good movie.
It is a great movie, but I haven't seen it in a long time, and it's hard when you have a kid. He doesn't care about that shit.
Can't sit for 3 hours.
It's written by Bill L. Norton, who also wrote an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer called 2 to Go, which I don't remember, but
Yeah, I've seen worse things. Again, it's not like it's a horrible movie, but it's not one of Tom Cruise's shining moments.
right.
Anyways, what'd you guys watch?
I just watched a couple of things. I started back around Christmas, actually for the last few years, every time I get together with my aunts and uncles and cousins, one of my cousins will always say, like, are you watching Boardwalk Empire? And I'm like, no, because I don't like Martin Scorsese. And they're like, well, no, it's got nothing to do with that. Like, you should watch Boardwalk Empire. So I was at Tradesmart, and they had a copy used, so I got it for like, $10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked it for the first season, and I started watching. Let's see, I'm about because it's they're a shorter season, so I'm about halfway through the first season, and it's good. So Boardwalk Empire is about basically gangsters who are running Atlantic City during Prohibition. So like the very first episode actually takes place as Prohibition is starting, and Steve Buscemi plays this guy.
He's weird looking.
Steve Buscemi is a weird looking guy, and he plays this guy who is basically running alcohol into Atlantic City, and he's got all of these people around town who are in his pocket, and it's all of those gangster things that you've seen before. But I think what actually, and that's a lot of stuff that usually doesn't do much for me.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of wins me over in this case is that is all of the little things. So there's a character who just came back from World War I, and he's trying to get back into Steve Buscemi's gang sort of, and just him telling the stories about what that war was like, and those like other things about what was going on at that time in American history. Those are the things that actually pull me in. They do a good job at really making the world feel like it's more than just gangsters, So unlike Goodfellas, which is just about gangsters, this has other themes and other ideas weaving through it about what was going on in America at that time. And that's the stuff that I really sort of cling on to. There's a lot of, issues about women's rights and those kinds of things going on, and conversations about whether they should have the vote and where they play into this sort of modern America. And so that's the part that I actually really enjoy. So I totally think it's worth checking out if you haven't watched it, especially if you were somebody like me who's like, I don't think Martin Scorsese is for me. Like, he sets the tone in the first episode, but then after that, it's a total like non-Scorsese feeling kind of thing. And because he's not really writing it. It's the characters in this don't feel to me like Martin Scorsese characters. So I'm really into it. I think it's good, and I'll probably continue to watch it and pick up the next couple of seasons when I can. So, cool. And then the other thing is that a couple of weeks ago got the sort of tin case edition. It's not a steelbook edition. It's just a Blu-ray case in a tin
metal pack.
What?
Metal pack.
Yeah, it's like it's actually just in a tin.
Oh,
so it's a normal Blu-ray inside of a tin box,
like a cookie tin.
Yeah, sort of. Only it's only big enough for a Blu-ray. It looks really awkward on my shelf. Like it's really frustrating because I bought it on Amazon. I just thought I saw the cover and I was like, oh, cool. It's like a metal case of the Mad Max trilogy. And
that one.
Yeah, and then it came and I was like, what the shit? Like this, because it's in a tin. When it's on its side and this, the spine has nothing on it. The spine is just the side of a tin. That's not thick enough for the name of the movie. Like it's awkward. I might get frustrated enough with it that I throw the tin away, which seems weird. But anyway, so this week I watched through all of the Mad Max movies. So because I want to get prepped for the new one, right?
I watched the first Mad Max with my dad today.
Oh, yeah?
I totally forgot that. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, all right, well, then I will go through them in order. Mad Max 1 is as slow and boring as I remember, but those action scenes are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Especially near the end.
Weird tone.
Very much so, yeah. Basically Mad Max 1, what's kind of cool about Mad Max 1 is that it's not a post-apocalyptic movie. It's like a during apocalyptic movie, right? Like the Mad Max apocalypse it's hard to put your finger on, but in that one it just feels like people are getting shittier. Like there's not like a thing that happened, there's not a huge war at that point. By the time you get to Thunderdome, they're talking about like, all the nukes went off or whatever, like something happened, but whatever. We'll talk about Beyond Thunderdome in a while. But with Mad Max, it just seems like people are shitty, and that on this highway out in the middle of nowhere, there are crazy fuckers who are like basically like motorcycle gangs who were just getting really rambunctious.
I will say that my dad couldn't stop laughing when the dude was running across the field and his butt was all red because he got raped. My dad thought it was the funniest thing he ever saw. He's like, look at that dude's ass, it's all red. I forgot about this part. He's just laughing.
And it's tonally it is weird because there's like people getting raped and like just random violence and spoilers, Mad Max's wife and kid get killed, and then it basically turns into a revenge film. What was cool was watching the special features that are on the Blu-ray after. There's this like I'd say 30-minute little featurette on there that it's totally biased. Like all the guys that are being interviewed are clearly saying the most bombastic positive things about Mad Max they can so that they'll get it in the video. So they're talking about like, Mad Max blew me away and whatever. Like, at one point there was a guy who was like, it's wall-to-wall action. It's just nonstop. I'm like, are you fucking, what movie did you see? Because there's like 2 action scenes in it and there's a lot of downtime. But, there's a scene where Mad Max sits with his wife on the beach and they talk. Mm-hmm. That is not a wall-to-wall action movie. Sorry. But it's cool. Like when you hear about the way that George Miller and team made that movie, and basically it was like, he called up his friends and said, let's go into the desert and shoot some crazy shit, and we don't have any money, but we'll just blow up some cars and mount cameras on stuff, and it's just going to be really rugged and kinetic. And then to realize like what an impact that sort of had on a lot of action movies. The idea of mounting that camera on the car and then just having a stunt guy drive it into shit and flip the cars and like do this cool stuff. It's a badass movie.
That cop was riding the motorcycle and it flipped over and then he was in the car.
Yeah.
My dad was like, he's having a bad day.
Yeah. Well, and when you think about the fact that they didn't have really a team, that, you know, there's not like a huge special effects team there. So when you see stuff like the guy flying, 20 feet after he gets thrown off of his car and stuff like that, you're like, holy shit, like that was a stunt guy who did that. It's a pretty ballsy movie. But completely outshadowed by how cool the Road Warrior is. It's crazy and silly, and there's dudes in assless chaps, and like it's very 80s. But the Road Warrior is awesome. That movie, or actually, I guess it's late 70s, or because it's
I think Road Warrior is 80s.
Was it straight?
I think
it's 82.
Yeah, because I think
might
Mad
be
Max
81.
is 79, isn't it?
Yeah, it's right around there. But anyway.
But it's funny because when I was over at my dad's today, he said, "Oh, we should watch Mad Max." And he's talking about the tanker. I says, "Oh yeah." And then we remembered, "Oh wait, it's the second one."
Right. So that tanker scene is all of the build up and what they do with the road with Mad Max and the Road Warrior is pretty cool. Like they turn him into that more traditional Western hero where he just wanders into town and helps save some people, which is always a cool character. It's got its weird, quirky George Miller stuff in there, like the feral kid and that kind of stuff. It's just weird. But the Lord Humongous is still pretty badass. Even now, like you listen to him talking, he's like, if you just leave the gas and I will not kill you. He just, I don't know. He still seems kind of cool. But there's starting to be some weird shit eking into the movie, but it doesn't matter because the tanker scene is so fucking cool. Like just awesome. Like it's one of those movies I wish I had seen when I was even younger. 'Cause it's just so imaginative and like as a post-apocalyptic movie, like it's what you always want. It's the reason I get excited about movies like that because I want just crazy shit and like cars with spikes on it, and it's why I'm so excited about the new one because the action in it looks like, hey, what if we made a movie only the whole movie was the tanker scene? I'm like, okay, that sounds great because that's all I want. That's a cool, and the way they make Mad Max into like this legend where that movie is being told basically by the feral kid, and it's not even really about Max. Like he does stuff and he's a cool hero, but he doesn't have like an arc necessarily in the movie. So I think it's cool. And that action scene, I should probably make a list of some of my favorites, but it's got to be up there. 'Cause it's just very cool and imaginative and tight. And not even that. It's like 13 minutes, which by comparison to modern action movies is not that long, but it was still pretty impressive.
Oh yeah.
And then this morning I watched Beyond Thunderdome, and
What
I don't
I've got to do.
To be fair, I don't actually know that I've seen Beyond Thunderdome before. I know I've seen it, but I don't know that I've ever not seen it on TV. Does that make sense? So it may be that every time I've seen it has been cut up. So Beyond Thunderdome is frustrating. It's like if you took Mad Max and Hook and smashed them together, and you didn't take the good parts of Hook, or like you didn't make it tonally match up, right? So it's still Mad Max, and he's like wandering the earth, and he looks cooler now because he's got like a streak of gray in his hair.
Yeah,
time
stress
has passed.
from fighting all the bad guys.
Well, he's been out in the apocalypse for a long time now, and he's surviving towing his truck with some camels, and the gyro captain has a kid now,
gosh.
and blows up and steals his camels, and so he ends up at Bartertown, and Tina Turner's there, and the world gets wackier. The world gets a lot more sort of fantastic and silly, which that part is unfortunate because it's sort of detrimental. The idea of Bartertown is cool. Like, you've gotten so far into the apocalypse that now you have people sort of trying to rebuild, and the way that they're doing it is very like the way that they're trying to create a civilization is rugged and rough and has these weird rules, and you have stuff like the Thunderdome where 2 men enter and 1 man leaves. There's so many lines in this movie that are just fucking badass, like memorable things that maybe just because I hung out with my brother my whole life, like I remember it's dying time and I think, oh, that's fucking cool. Like, and just that shot of him saying, you know, ladies and gentlemen, it's dying time here, or dying times here. Like it's cool, but there's a lot of downtime. Again, there's Mad Max gets he breaks the rules of Thunderdome because he doesn't want to kill Blaster, and Master's just a weird character. Like they don't tonally set up real well why we're trying to save Master. Like I understand why, but I don't really care about saving Master. And then I feel bad about Blaster. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't want to kill Blaster. And so he gets kicked out of town. And then he goes and finds the wild children who are living out in a cave by the river and convinces them all. And there's like this, it reminds me a lot of what is it? What's the second Planet of the Apes movie?
Beneath?
Yeah, I think it's Beneath. Like just when they go and these kids are all telling the story of like what the Earth was like before the apocalypse, and that's the point where they start talking like there were missiles going off and like there was this great war that really killed everything, which wasn't the way that I took it in Road Warrior. Like in Road Warrior, it felt more like economies crashed because we ran out of gasoline and it was just harder to really survive. And then by the time you get to Thunderdome, like the world is just not as well defined, and you're out there with those kids forever, and then the kids come back and they have these Hook style hijinks where they basically kidnap Master again and get him out of there, and then they have another action scene on the road, but it's not as good, and that's the end. So
each time I tried to watch it, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina Turner's weird. I don't understand that character. She has her own. She wrote a song for Beyond Thunderdome.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah, it
hero
runs in
song?
the credit. Yeah. We don't need a hero. We just need to go beyond Thunderdome. And you're like, what the fuck? No, we
guess
don't.
I should have beat her a little harder before that movie.
Oh,
dude.
Fuck, that was no, not okay. Anyway, so still, even as like the idea here was I wanted to rewatch them because I wanted to decide whether or not my mom should watch them before the new one. Mm-hmm. Even though she watches the new trailer and she's like, I don't want to see that. And I was like, fuck. Well, you're gonna.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, Mom. You're gonna watch this movie and you're gonna like it. But out of all of it, I think that the way to watch Mad Max is the way that most Americans watch it, which is watch The Road Warrior and then maybe don't watch any of the other Mad Max movies. Because The Road Warrior is awesome. So, anyway, that's what I saw. Brad?
I have only been watching Voyager, so...
Tell me about it. Where are you in Voyager?
I did see that episode you were talking about last time I was on where
Chell explodes and gives up all her power?
What?
Oh, no, the one where they go over...
They become
Warp 10?
salamanders?
Yeah, where they become salamanders?
That's the decanonized one, right?
The only episode of Star Trek decanonized, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was like worthy of that. Like, it wasn't a great episode, but it didn't seem like, compared to everything else I've been seeing, it didn't seem that much different from...
Well, the reason it's decanonized is because it sets... it creates a rule in the Star Trek universe that basically if you go over Warp 10, you turn into salamanders that fans hate so much that they undid.
But I think there was something else going on.
Why would you
that.
turn into a salamander?
Dude, I fucking don't know. I don't know. What happens in that episode?
I'm in season 6 now, so I've forgotten a lot of...
Okay.
A lot of the episodes are forgettable. So.
Yes.
But I think there was some other variable that added to Warp 10 that caused that to happen.
Yeah.
So... I don't know why they just decanonized because just
who's in a writer's room and says they hit Warp 10? Salamanders. I would have raised my hand and be like, dude, no.
Yeah. Well, there is like in the Star Trek universe, there's this science behind why you can't break Warp 10. So that's the other thing is that like the idea that
Still,
what's his
why
face?
are they not in a writer's room going, dude, no. You do not turn into a salamander. We do not break warp 10 for this reason.
Because
See what happens when you break warp 10? You have shitty ideas like that. You're fired, Fred.
Because not every episode of Star Trek Voyager was gold. That's why. So at some point, their standards were low enough that they were like, all right, we need 24 episodes this season. We'll do the fucking salamander. You've been pitching this. The guy had probably been pitching it since the first season. Like, hey, guys, this year, fucking salamanders.
I'm telling you guys, it's going to be pretty sweet. I'm telling you.
And 5 seasons in, they were finally like, God damn it, fine.
Yeah, it does seem like there's a lot of episodes that are like repackaged next gen episodes.
Yeah.
Like with a different angle on it. And then
It's like it's either that or another episode where 7 of 9 gets pregnant with another Borg baby, or like impregnates the ship with a Borg baby. Or
it's interesting you say that because I have not seen any of those episodes. So I
Oh,
don't know
really?
what you're talking about. But I will say that once 7 of 9 does come on the show, like,
Got a whole lot sexy.
well, not
gets
just
better.
that, but like the stories like do get, and then Kess leaves because
right, because Kess is the worst.
a lot of the first 3 seasons were like Kess episodes.
Uh-huh.
Like, and hers is the biggest cop out because she can just like read the minds of everything, and then has Superman powers. So she takes off, and then I was gonna say, yeah, like the Doctor's awesome. Like,
Have you seen The Year of Hell? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a cool one. I remember that being cool.
yeah. The thing is, the other thing too that's annoying is a lot of the episodes. What is it? It's like every race they come in contact with, like they say, "Hey, we're Voyager. We're just passing through," and like instantly no trust. Like no one wants to be friends with Voyager at all.
Mhm.
Whereas like in Next Gen, you go to like, "Hey, here's a population of just like, hey, we just hang out and stuff. We don't have like commerce and things."
True, but the Delta Quadrant is also like chock
the thing is,
full
like-
of dangerous shit.
But there's no variety. So like the Delta Quadrant is like just paranoid, angry aliens everywhere
True.
you go.
True. There's a lot of Borg. There's a lot of like those like Klingon,
Kazon are idiot
Klingon weird
Neanderthals.
guys. Oh yeah, the Kazon. There's the guys. Have you seen the episode where they're in World War II and
Yeah, that was a cool
those-
episode.
Yeah.
Um,
But those, what are those guys called who always have like the blue guns and they're supposed to be like super warriors? But those guys are all over the place. They call them like hunters or something like that. I can't remember.
yeah, damn it, what were they?
Anyway,
There's the Vidians who are like basically zombies. Like their flesh keeps falling off.
oh yes, yeah.
They're not zombies. That's not. They're, yeah.
At some
They
point,
harvest people.
at some point,
To become a zombie, you must die and come back to
Yeah,
life.
I'm sorry. As a word.
Thank you.
It was just a visual comparison.
at some point, 7 of 9 is going to impregnate the Star Trek Voyager with like a Super Borg, like thing. It's gonna be like living in the inside of the warp drive or something weird. I can't remember. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's-
But the interesting, like, because I always grew up thinking like, oh, because I stopped watching Voyager shortly before, like probably in the first season, and then just going to cons like, oh, they had 7 of 9 just because they needed like sex appeal on the show. But her character is actually like, even as an actress,
Yeah.
like she has episodes where I feel like they just wrote them because she was like, I'm tired of doing the dry like no emotion character. Can you like make me like the one where she acts like a little girl and then like the multiple personalities thing.
Right.
It's interesting to see her range.
And I feel like the introduction of 7 of 9 also makes Janeway a lot more interesting, like because their relationship is kind of cool. The way that Janeway like tries to nurture her back into being a human is maybe the most interesting thing that happens in that show, like on a grand scale thing. So,
But unfortunately, with Kes gone, like Neelix kind of takes a back seat
yeah,
because I think since season 4, he basically hasn't had much of anything to do.
yeah, he sort of turns into your comedic relief, which is probably all he. That's all I ever really wanted out of him. I don't think I really ever cared about Neelix.
That episode where he gets melded with or mushed together with Tuvok to create Tuvix, that was fucked up. Because basically then Janeway's just like, yeah, I'm going to kill you.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, like there's a
Like
transport.
they accidentally. Does the transporter create a third person
No, it mashes them together.
into one person?
Who doesn't remember being Tuvok or Neelix.
Okay.
And so it's a completely new being called Tuvix. And at one point, so they're like, okay, we're going to spend some time to try and figure out how to separate you back in the original people.
Sure.
But since Tuvix is a new being, he doesn't want to be separated.
Right.
He's like, I have rights too as a being my own person. You can't just decide to split me in half. Like, I want to live. And so they wrestle with it. And at the end of the episode, Janeway just says, like, yeah, separate them.
Oh.
It's a tough decision, but I want my other people back. And Tuvix resists, and it's like a really heartbreaking, like,
Holy shit.
because at first he like physically resists, and then they like restrain him, and then he goes into the sick bay and pleads his case a little bit more, and then just kind of like Janeway, the doctor won't do it because he's like, his motto is do no harm, so Janeway just herself takes the gun or whatever and injects him, and they split up, and it's just like unsettling that the episode just ends with her walking out of the sick bay, just like almost not remorseful. Like, she like regrets it, but
that's awesome.
It's just like that character Tuvix just gets murdered.
between a replicator and a teleporter, couldn't they just clone people left and right?
I've stopped paying attention to the science of Star Trek.
I just
and
feel
Voyager.
like
there's episodes. Thank you. So there's episodes with Q.
Yes.
Who can do anything, including just sending them home. And in the first episode, I was like, okay, well, Janeway doesn't win the bet, so I guess Q doesn't have to send them back to Earth, which is still like, I don't feel like Q is that petty.
It's not petty. He doesn't care.
Like, yeah, or even doesn't care. Like, he obviously likes Picard and humans, even though he messes around with them. I feel like he would still say, okay, I'll send you home. But then I was like, okay, well, she lost the bet, so maybe he's just like really strict about his bets. And then there's another episode where Q comes back, and they don't address sending them home at all. Like, that's the easiest solution to this whole series.
Yeah. Well,
because just convince him to do it.
They even have those episodes like, have you seen the episode with R, the Q who wants to kill himself?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. At some point, there's a Q who wants to kill himself, and there's like a whole sort of trial where.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, where like regular Q is like, no, you can't do this. That's not okay. And so there's some cool stories in there.
I think that is the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's some cool Q stories in there, but they feel like they're just in there because somebody wrote a cool Q story, and that was the only Star Trek show they could tell it on.
Well, in Next Gen, they were saying a lot of the stories came from write-ins. Like, they submitted to write, like, hey, fanfic people, just send us your episodes, and then you'd repurpose them.
Was it Marty Noxon? I think Marty Noxon, that's how she got into it.
Yeah. So I'm sure.
Wrote for Buffy. Or who's the woman who wrote for Buffy?
She did.
And
she wrote Fright Night, too.
Yeah. It's either her or it's one of the people who wrote for Lost, who got started just writing in Star Trek Next Gen episodes. I think it was Marty Noxon. But
yeah, I'm on season 6. And
cool.
One of the weirdest ones is the Ed Begley, where he's the guy from the past who gets the future technology, and then Sarah Silverman is just like a computer nerd.
Where they like go to San Francisco?
I think it's just L.A.
Oh, yeah. But they go to Earth in the past somehow.
Yeah. So like walking on the beach in like the 90s, and they all like 90s.
Yeah, and Sarah Silverman's there.
That was a weird one.
Yeah. How do they get to Earth in the past?
A 29th century guy, Captain Braxton, I think.
Oh, okay.
Tries to destroy Voyager because Voyager does something that sends technology to Ed Begley Jr. guy in the past.
Yeah.
Some encounter. I don't know. There's so many time travel stories.
When did they find Amelia Earhart? Is that in season 1? Or is that early in the show?
I think it's season 2, like the season 2 premiere.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one being weird. But anyway.
That's
I like
what I
that
watched.
show.
Yeah, it's not great, but like I said, there's a lot of time travel episodes.
Yes.
Even after like Next Gen, they were saying like we need to stop doing time travel episodes. Like I think every other episode in Voyager is a time travel scenario.
Yeah. Cool.
Ryan's bored.
I've seen the movies.
We're getting there. One of these days, we'll get to a place where Ryan's like, so I'm in season 3 of Next Generation.
I will never watch the shows.
Oh my god.
Never.
Next Generation's good.
Yeah, Next Gen's good.
Mm-hmm. Which one has The Rock in it? Is that Deep Space Nine?
It's Voyager.
Voyager?
Yeah.
Wait,
would you watch that
Dwayne
one?
Johnson's in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you haven't seen
and
that
he
one?
wrestles people.
No, he fights 7 of 9 in the fucking Thunderdome. I'm not kidding.
Mm-hmm. I watched that. I watched. No, you go ahead.
It must be a season 7 episode.
Oh, maybe. You know what? I think so because I kind of remember it being kind of near the end.
Toward the end, yeah.
Yeah, no. The Rock fights 7 of 9 in the Thunderdome.
I watched it because The Rock was on it, and I had no idea what was happening. He gave her a rock bottom, though.
What's a rock bottom?
That's his finishing move in wrestling.
Okay. What is
He does it in the Furious 7 trailer, too. Does it Jason Statham? He picks up a dude on his side and slams him into the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bro.
Onto their bottom?
Onto their back.
And then when he stands up over them, he's just like,
you just got rock bottomed.
Your bottom hurts now.
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
He says? That's pretty good.
This week we went and saw Kingsmen, The Secret Service. James, should people go see Kingsmen?
No. This is a tough one. This movie is tonally kind of weird, but I was entertained the whole time, and I think there's some crazy-ass shit in here you should see. It is a very rated R movie that is a lot more violent than I was expecting, especially based on the trailer. So what I will say is, if you like Kick-Ass and you like Matthew Vaughn, you should check this out. But this is not the family crazy action movie that you think it is. So, maybe.
I think you should see it. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah?
I thought the action scenes were sweet. Colin Firth is badass in it.
Yes?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. And I'm trying to think the last time I enjoyed a February movie this much.
It's not that I didn't enjoy it. I just don't know if it's for everyone.
Prude. Here's a trailer for Kingsman.
We are an independent international intelligence agency operating at the highest level of discretion. That was the headline the day after I defused a dirty bomb in Paris. Front page news on all these occasions was nonsense. It's the nature of Kingsmen that our achievements remain secret.
How deep does this fucking thing go?
Deep enough. Being a Kingsman has nothing to do with the circumstances of one's birth. If you're prepared to adapt and learn, you can transform.
That is sick. Oh, yes. Very, very nice.
I'm offering you the opportunity to become a Kingsman. Interested?
You think I've got anything to lose?
Oh, there's a lot to lose. I guarantee it.
Valentine's a threat which affects us all.
Mankind is a virus.
Mass genocide?
I like it.
You are completely crazy.
Do I look like I give a fuck?
Assemble the Kingsmen.
And what does this do? Electrocute you?
Don't be ridiculous. It's a hand grenade.
Shut up. You blew up his head. It's a bit much, innit?
Begin countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, party! The world is going to shit. This is great.
Sorry about that. Needed to let off a little steam.
Let's have that then.
This is mine.
If I save the world, will you give me a kiss?
I'll give you more than just a kiss.
I'll be right back.
Son of a bitch.
I think there's a Red Band trailer where Samuel L. Jackson is cussing.
Is he cussing with a lisp?
Probably. It's awesome. In Kingsman, is, I mean, the trailer pretty much sets it up. There's a secret service that's more secret than MI6.
Well, because it's not tied to any government.
Yeah, and they basically help save the world. Mm-hmm. And they're these badass agent guys named after the Knights of the Round Table.
Mm-hmm. And they all want to be gentlemen, so they're not like your traditional spies. They're very well, actually, they are like your traditional spies, but like 60s James Bond.
Yeah, it's
like
it's fun.
Suit-wearing dudes who use canes, and
I thought of James Bond immediately when the villainess showed up and she had blades for legs.
Right.
So that's like something out of if it was an R-rated James Bond movie.
Yeah, it's very much like a comic book movie.
Yeah, the dude gets split like directly in half by her.
Mm-hmm.
he falls like in half.
So it's weird because I feel like Matthew Vaughn is a sort of dangerous director.
What do you mean?
Where what I mean is that he's kinetic and cool in the way that Guy Ritchie is, but I think he's hanging out with Mark Miller too much. This movie is produced by Mark Miller, and Mark Miller has some crazy ass shit that comes out of his head sometimes that he thinks is cooler than it is, and that's what tonally I think rocks this movie.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's actually cool that so there's these Kingsmen are really awesome.
Yes.
And there's a part where at the beginning it has a kind of a cool thing where Mark Hamill's great in it. And
oh, dude, Mark Hamill's awesome in this movie. Yeah.
I didn't know he could do a British accent so well. And so anyways, it goes on, and one of the Lancelot is murdered in the field, so they have to recruit new people. And so Colin Firth's character, Galahad, who's Harry in real life, finds this kid whose dad was killed on a mission earlier.
His dad had also been Lancelot.
Yeah. And so he finds him, and the kid's in a bad place, but he's really resourceful and can do all this stuff. And so he has a pint with him in this bar, and Eggy is his name?
Eggsy.
Eggsy is his name. And his stepdad is some London thug.
Yeah.
And so he steals their car or whatever, and he shows up. Anyways, they're in this bar, and there's a sweet moment where Colin Firth's character says, "You know what the difference between man and manners is?" And he locks the doors to the bar, and then it's one continuous shot of him kicking the ass out of all of these thugs, and it's pretty sweet. And then it's amped up in this church action scene that's, I don't know, 15 minutes long.
Yeah, that scene is awesome.
Yeah, no,
it's one of the most violent things I've seen in a long time.
It's basically a slasher movie in that moment mixed with gunplay.
Because it's pretty long shots. Like, he doesn't cut very often. There's like a weird effect where he's moving it, like he's sped up the film a little bit or something like that, or either that or he's doing ramps. I can't quite remember. I think he's doing ramps.
Well, he'll like zoom in to something tight, and then he'll pull back out so you can see what's going on.
And he's totally doing ramps because he'll go into slow mo. And then he'll speed it back up, and then anyway. But it's Colin Firth just killing everyone in a church, and they're from some hate church or whatever. But basically, the story at that point is that the villain, spoilers, but the villain Samuel L. Jackson has created this thing where he can make people in an area basically go insane and all just start killing each other. And because Colin Firth is in there, he also just starts killing these people, but of course he's better at killing people than everyone else there, so he just kills everyone in the church. And you're right, it's like a 10-minute one long scene.
And there's no cutaways. There's that part in that church where he throws that dude's head against the wall, and you literally see his like head snap back, and he slides down, and then he jams things up people's heads. And
it's a lot of like really gruesome. Even though he is so smooth, it's gruesome kills where like he'll, there's one that I remember where he takes the gun apart, right, and then stabs the one part of the gun, just stabs it into a guy's neck and into his skull, and the guy's like twitching, and then a bunch of people just getting shot, and it's really violent.
It is. I was surprised at the level of violence too, because the way the movie is sold is kind of this fun. Oh, right. I'm recruiting this kid to be.
My mom really wanted to see it
to be a secret agent, and it's not that at all. Because it actually starts right away when they say motherfucker, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, written or based on something written by Mark Miller, so they say fuck a lot. Yeah, it is. It's weird because it's like Men in Black, and they sold it in the trailer like Men in Black. So my mom was like, "Oh yeah, I want to see that." And there is a lot of that because he goes through all these trials where they teach him, or they're trying to test these 8 kids or whatever to see who's going to be the next Kingsman. And some of those were really cool. Like I thought the one where they jump out of the plane was a neat idea, and just made for a really cool scene, especially after he lands. But they did seem a little bit, I don't know, it felt like it took a long time to really get things going, like Men in Black does a good job of having that section of the movie be about 15 minutes, and then it's just, let's go fight aliens. Whereas here, you still feel like he is learning to be a spy until the very end of the movie. Like that's the first time there's an action scene that's really like him, that he's involved in.
The most decapitations in a movie ever.
Yeah. So
I forgot to tell people, we spoil the shit out of these movies. So in this, they get this chip, and Samuel L. Jackson wants to control people. There's a secondary function of this chip that makes people...
It's in people's brains.
Yeah, so it makes their head explode. And so Mark Strong's character, I think this is the first movie I've seen where he's not a villain. Anyways, he sets it...
So first we see Mark Hamill's head explode.
Yeah.
And it's this gruesome scene where Colin Firth gets gray matter all over his face, and he's, all disturbed, and some dudes come in to kill him, so he jumps out this window. But it's a pretty gruesome section. So then at the end of the movie, Mark Strong hacks into it.
And he sets off all these rich people's heads to explode at the same time.
And it's not just rich people, it's like a whole bunch of world leaders.
Yeah.
Including like Barack Obama and a whole bunch of everyone who works at the White House.
See, I thought that was way more controversial than anything in the interview.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyways, people's heads are blowing up in this.
Here it comes.
The firework of. What's the music? It's like fanfare or something?
Yeah, so there's fanfare playing, and literally when their heads blow up, it's like fireworks. Yeah. So it's not gruesome like Mark Hamill's. It's like they're different colors. They're synchronized. So there's shots like from above where like everybody sitting at a big round table, their heads will blow up, and the rockets will launch towards the camera and spin, and like there'll be different colors, and they'll spark like fireworks. He's killing all of the world leaders because there's a lot of these like underhanded jabs at politicians and stuff through the whole movie, and then he just fucking blows all their heads up at the end, and he makes it like celebratory and crazy.
It is crazy. And they set up this thing where Samuel L. Jackson can't stand violence, so he always has people
that was good.
Kill for him and stuff, and they need to clean up.
And he never wants to be there.
Yeah, he never wants to be there. I mean, and I won't spoil something that he does in the movie because it's really, really big spoilers.
It's a good scene though.
It is a really good scene.
Yeah. No, fuck it. We got to talk about it.
Okay.
Because it's really good.
So after Colin Firth kills everybody in this church, he comes out, and they had this great scene earlier where they're talking about 60 Spies movies and how Samuel L. Jackson says, I always wanted to be the spy. And Colin Firth says, I always wanted to be the bad guy. And so they're basically telling each other they know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so he comes out of the church, and Samuel L. Jackson is there, and he points a gun at his head, and he says, this is probably the moment in the spy movie where the villain gives you some elaborate way to die and you have some convoluted way of escaping, but this isn't that movie. So he just blows Colin Firth's head away.
Mm-hmm.
And Samuel L. Jackson's like, did I just kill that motherfucker?
Yeah. No, he's like, holy shit, is he dead?
Yeah. And she says, yeah, that usually happens when you shoot somebody in the face.
Right. But then he has to keep himself from throwing up, and you're like, this is so weird. Like, that's what I'm talking about, is that they'll have these wacky sections where they're blowing up people's heads in fireworks, and then in the next sequence, he's got everybody in the world going crazy and killing each other, and there's this section where Eggsy's mom has locked her daughter in the bathroom and hidden the key because the one spy called her and was like, hey, this crazy thing's going to happen. Like, take your daughter, put her in the bathroom, lock the door, and then throw away the key. And then the mom starts to go crazy because this guy's setting off this thing. And so she's like taking a knife and she's hacking at the door and trying to break down the door so she can kill her daughter. And then you're cutting back to like people's heads exploding and like this wacky shit going on and people running around jumping on walls. And you're like, holy, like that's what I'm talking about when tonally it just
then there's
jackknifes.
I brought that up because there's this moment that's funny that I was the only one in the theater who laughed. Where Samuel L. Jackson gets stabbed,
and
he sees his own blood, and it makes him throw up, and then he falls over and dies.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty funny.
And,
I had fun. I think it was a cool movie.
I did too. I enjoyed it. Mark Miller, man.
I think everybody should see it. I'm going to take my mom to it. I think my mom will really appreciate the part where he's going to save the Swedish princess. And she says, "You save me, you can come have sex with my butt."
Right. It's shit. The movie ends with just a shot of that woman's ass. That's the end of the movie. Like, that's how tonally just all over the place it is.
Well, it's great, though, because he says, "I got to go save the world." And she says, "When you save the world, you can come back and have sex with my butt," or something like that. I mean, literally that blatant. And so he comes back and she says, "You save the world." He says, "I saved the world."
Are you gonna come in? And then here's when I laughed was that she's locked up in this prison, and he gets the door open, and when the door opens, there's like a red satin couch with frill all over it, and she's like in a nightgown, and she's like sitting there like. Yeah, it's one of those weird. There's a bunch of weird little jabs at James Bond movies throughout this thing, and they're not necessarily the smartest jabs, but they're also not the wacky. It's not Austin Powers wacky, but they're very obvious jokes about like that, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, now that he saved the world, this Swedish princess literally is there to have sex with him, however he likes. Yeah. It's insane, but it was fun.
I think you should see it.
Yeah.
Next week, I think, is Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
Unfortunately, I won't be here. So
yeah,
that's too bad. I'm gonna miss Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
All the cool people are seeing it.
I mean, I enjoyed the first one.
I think that's why I said all the cool people. Me and Brad. Or the Duff.
Is that next week?
Yeah.
After we talk so bad about the Duff, that could be the thing.
It opens in as many theaters as Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
That's a bad time for this year is not getting off to a real great start.
I don't know. I really like Kingsman.
I did, but that's one of two movies I've seen this year that I liked. I think
this is week
this
6.
and Whiplash. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a lot of bad. We've seen some bad movies so far this year.
It's been tough.
And there's looking forward to the next month and a half. There's a couple of weeks where I'm like, I have no idea what we're saying that week. But then as soon as Avengers hits, it's like nothing but gold every week.
Oh, I'd say probably around Furious 7.
Yeah, no, you're not entirely wrong.
I mean, there's a scene in Furious 7 where Rock flexes his broken arm so hard it breaks the cast.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
And then he jumps
the part
in
where Vin Diesel drives a car across 2 buildings.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And then there's this part where they make Vin Diesel really tall.
That part's not as awesome.
Like in Furious 6 where you're saying, whoa, he's trying really hard to make Vin Diesel look as big as The Rock.
Yeah.
Till next week. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck, Brad. Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find them on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.